Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third and the final part of the chapter Food and Health. Now, in the previous class, we studied all about infectious diseases, we spoke about prevention of infectious diseases, and we spoke about immunization. So, in today's session, we'll be focusing completely on deficiency diseases. If you remember, in part 2, we spoke about two kinds of diseases. We said one were infectious diseases, and the second type was deficiency diseases. Now, deficiency diseases are diseases which are caused due to lack of the right kind of food in the diet. So this is because of the lack of nutrients or the lack of the right kind of nutrients in your diet. Now let us see what a deficiency disease actually means. Now, deficiency diseases, unlike infectious diseases, do not spread from one person to another. That is why it is called as non-communicable disease or non-infectious disease, because it does not spread from one person to another. If somebody in your class has a deficiency disease, sitting next to them, you do not get the deficiency disease. So it is non-communicable or non-infectious disease. Let's look at this with an example. When you notice a child who has a protein deficiency, that child will be very weak and that child won't grow properly. By grow properly, I mean for that particular age, the height and the weight won't be correct or won't be ideal. They will be low birth weight or low height for that particular age, and the stomach will swell up. Also, a child suffering from protein deficiency has sores on the skin. This is because of protein deficiency. So you can see how important it is to have certain nutrients in our diet. Now let us study them one by one with examples. We will first do vitamin deficiency. We start with the first one, which is vitamin A on our list. Now, if you see the sources of vitamin A, it is found in carrots, it's found in milk, butter, green leafy vegetables, sweet potato, and deep yellow fruits and vegetables. By deep yellow, you can have your musambi, you can see banana, you can see yellow capsicum. These are all deep yellow vegetables. If you have to remember the example easily, remember carrot, remember milk, and green leafy vegetables. These three are very easy to remember. What is the function of this? I'm sure you would have heard your parents or your elders telling you eat lot of carrots is good for the eyes, right? That is because they protect the eyes. The vitamin A protects the eye and it keeps skin, teeth, and bones healthy. Okay, so these are the two functions of vitamin A. If there is a deficiency of vitamin A in the diet, it leads to a condition called as night blindness. Now, what does night blindness mean? Somebody who is suffering from night blindness cannot see in the dark. You cannot see properly in the dark. So that is night blindness. So this is vitamin A. If you see vitamin B1, again here it is found in milk. So you can see how milk is a balanced diet because it has all the vitamins and minerals and proteins in it. So it is vitamin B1 is found in milk, fish, meat, and cereals. And what is its function? It helps in the proper functioning of nerves and heart. Vitamin B1 helps in proper functioning of nerves and heart. When there is a deficiency of vitamin B, it leads to a condition called as beriberi. So vitamin B for vitamin B and B for beriberi. So you can remember the deficiency disease easily. Beriberi is a nerve disorder. We'll move on to the third one, which is vitamin C. You know, vitamin C, C for vitamin C, C for citrus. Vitamin C is found in all citrus fruits like orange, lemon, musambi, and so on. Apart from that, it is also found in cabbage, tomatoes, and green leafy vegetables. This is the only vitamin that is not found in milk. You can see in milk, vitamin A, B, and D is present, whereas vitamin C is not there in milk. What is the function of vitamin C? It helps in protecting the body tissue. Now, when there is a deficiency of vitamin C, it leads to a condition called as scurvy. Scurvy leads to bleeding of gums and swelling of joints, and also somebody suffering from vitamin C deficiency, their wounds will not heal. Okay, we'll see the last one, which is vitamin D. If you see vitamin D, it is also present in milk, fish, eggs, and butter. Now, this vitamin D is very important for maintaining good health of bones and teeth. If you have vitamin D deficiency, it leads to a condition called as rickets Okay, vitamin D deficiency leads to a condition called as rickets. Now, if rickets is seen in small children, it leads to soft bones that bend. Okay, whereas if an adult who is full grown ends up with vitamin D deficiency, their bones become very brittle and they tend to break. We have four examples here also. So we'll take the first one, which is iron. Iron is found in meat, spinach, apples, and raisins. The main function of spinach is making red blood cells. They are responsible for making red blood cells. Now, if there is a deficiency of iron, it leads to a condition called as anemia. In anemia is a disease of blood where the body becomes pale and gets tired very easily. So somebody suffering from anemia can't do much work. They will get tired very, very soon. The second one is calcium. We'll be looking at the mineral calcium. Calcium, you know very well, is found in milk and milk products, and also it is found in green leafy vegetables. Now, the main function of calcium is to strengthen bones and teeth. So obviously, when there is deficiency of calcium, it leads to soft and weak bones and bad teeth formation. Now, the functions and deficiency symptoms of phosphorus is also same as that of calcium, only its sources are different. Phosphorus is found in meat, it's found in bread, and it's found in milk. So you can see again here, milk is there at so many places. So milk is a wholesome food. It is very good to have milk. The last one is iodine. Iodine is found in fish and iodized salt. There's no other food article which has enough iodine that we can consume. So the main function of iodine is that it controls the growth and speed of chemical reaction in our body. And when you have deficiency of iodine, you suffer from a disease called as goiter. Goiter is nothing but swelling in the neck region. Now, let's see how exactly this goiter looks. If you can see this picture here, this is the picture of a person who has goiter, so the neck region is swollen. Pictorially, it can be represented like this. Sometimes it can be smaller swelling, sometimes it can be a very large swelling. So basically, it is a swelling near the neck region, because of which you know that the person is suffering from iodine deficiency, which is called as goiter. Now, apart from these deficiency diseases, there are other non-communicable diseases. Some of them are caused by bad habits like smoking and drinking alcohol. So you must avoid smoking and drinking alcohol. You know, lung cancer and liver disorders are not communicable diseases, but they're caused because of excess smoking and drinking. Air pollution also causes non-communicable diseases of the breathing system. That means you can start randomly coughing because of a lot of smoke in the environment, which is non-communicable. This kind of coughing and sneezing is non-communicable. Now, we've seen about infectious and non-infectious diseases. There's another very important part of our health that we have to take care of, which will help us in maintaining good health and fitness. That is exercise and sleep. Exercise and sleep are two very important things. So the body needs a regular exercise and rest to remain healthy. Also, exercise makes muscles grow stronger and inner organs like heart and lungs grow stronger. That's why somebody who works out is more fit and healthy than somebody who's lazy and lethargic. Lack of exercise makes the muscles weak and flabby. If you notice somebody who doesn't exercise, they don't have very tight muscles. They have very loose skin and flabby skin. That is because of lack of exercise. Lastly, lack of exercise causes extra fat to settle under the skin and makes the body overweight and unhealthy. That's why exercising is very important. If you don't want to put on excess weight and become overweight and unhealthy, you have to exercise regularly and you have to take enough rest. With this, we complete the last and the final part of the chapter. Let's do a quick recap of what all we studied in this class. Firstly, we spoke about deficiency diseases. Then we spoke about deficiency of vitamins in detail. We looked into deficiency of minerals in detail. Then we spoke about non-communicable diseases. Lastly, we spoke about exercise and rest in maintaining a healthy and fit body. So this completes the chapter Food and Health. If you have any questions or any doubts, please feel free to write to us or comment. We will get back to you as soon as we can. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, please go back and look at part 1 and 2 before you reach part 3. Thank you very much.